welcome to Eve Echo's Market Watch. I'm your host, Delt Lead, and today we're going to be going over some interesting new trends that we're seeing in the ore and mineral market.
Now, as I said before in our last video, we're finally starting to see the mineral market stabilize as supply and demand begin to meet each other. For instance, Noxcium and Zydrine are finally starting to hit their marks. Noxcium is up to 1010.69 ISK and has been holding it pretty consistently. Zydrine has been continuing to rise and is up to 700 ISK now, still short of its approximated value, but it has been continuing to perform well. Pyrite, on the other hand, is actually dropped a little bit. Yesterday it was at 17 ISK and had finally hit its mark, but is now down 1 ISK to 16, likely because players are starting to produce more of that, flooding the market and dropping the price. And this trend is starting to bear out in the rest of the market. We're seeing ore like Veldspar, Scordite, Plagioclase, Amber, Kernite are all starting to stabilize and drop slightly as the market adjusts for its actual value. Jaspit, Hemorphite, Hedbergite, Spudamane, Dark Ochre being pretty stable throughout the entire game, Gneiss, Crocite, a few exceptions though. Pistot's been coming up. As a more rare ore, it's likely that players are only just now starting to access it and need it, and so its demand has been increasing. We're also seeing this bear out in the mineral side. I discussed before, Pyrite and Noxcium are both stabilizing, Zydrine's on the rise, but we're seeing other ores like Mexilon, Isogen starting to stabilize and drop a little bit as demand and supply are starting to meet and adjust themselves to fit the actual cost of the ore. One area that's been performing pretty well, though, is the planetary resources. Now, planetary resources, because they are gathered over the course of time and not player interaction directly, are a little slower to amass large quantities of, and so their demand tends to be a little bit more stable. We're seeing these planetary resources holding their value a little bit better and not fluctuating quite as wildly as the mined minerals and ores. We are seeing a pretty steady rise in the value of oxygen isotopes and plasmoids. Oxygen isotopes are up from 250 ISK to 490 ISK, and plasmoids up from 550 to 700 ISK. These more rare planetary resources seem to be bringing in the big bucks. In other news, Plex has dropped from 100,000 ISK down to 95,000 ISK per unit. This is likely due to a reverse in the trend we saw this weekend. As players hit their Tier 6 bubble, essentially the entire player base hitting Tier 6 within the same day, a lot of high-value contracts got unlocked, a lot of players started hitting more ISK per hour of grinding in the game, and this increase in income is likely what caused Plex to shoot up. As players increase in their tier tech level, they're able to increase the amount of income they make every hour of grinding in the game. At tech level 5, players might be making between 200,000 and 1 million per every hour of grinding in the game. But as they hit tech level 6, that increases from 500,000 to 2 million. Anywhere in the 1 to 2 million price range suddenly becomes a much more feasible income per hour of grinding. Now, since Plex can be used to purchase an Omega subscription status for a player's account, you can convert time in-game grinding into Plex and into that 30-day subscription. So there is a real reason to grind and have a high rate of income, because the higher your rate of income, the less grinding you have to do to earn that Omega status without paying for it. At 1 million ISK per hour, it takes roughly 17 hours to gain enough Plex at the current rate to buy an Omega subscription status. At 2 million ISK per hour, it only takes 8.5 hours to grind up enough ISK to purchase an Omega status. Again, using the 100,000 ISK per hour trading rate. As the player base begins to make more money per hour of grinding, that threshold to hit this 170 Plex is going to get lower and lower and lower. And so the cost of Plex is going to increase as the demand for it increases and more players are able to actually purchase it and get that Omega status. What we will likely see is that around tech level 7, it'll shoot up again because players will have access to better equipment and be able to take on more challenging and more profitable adventures. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'll be releasing a video talking about the market every day and giving you more information on big changes and trends in the near future. I'll see you in the next video, and as always, thank you for watching.